Billy Ray Bates, born May 31st, 1956. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but they never tell you what caused it to fall, or that maybe the tree wasn't strong enough to guide that apple until it was ripe and ready to be picked and consumed. And what happens when the entire tree falls? Does it damage all the apples so we shouldn't expect them to be anything more than ground fertilizer? Just a few thoughts running through my mind when I think of a guy like Billy Ray Bates, whose father died when he was just 7 years old due to being an alcoholic. Want to know what Billy Apple ended up becoming? Yeah, you're right. Besides the alcoholic traits running through his blood, Billy accompanied that with a few more addictions, like his weakness for partying and sleeping with multiple women at a time, which was a regular before games for Bates. In his workout for the NBA, finally, after no team besides Houston would take a chance on the college star because of his already built reputation, he reportedly showed up to a workout after a night where he slept with 3 women and still ran his mile test in 5 minutes 15 seconds. This perfectly explains all you need to know about the myth that was Billy Bates. Able to do extraordinary things for the era he was in, and capable of even more had he been a little more focused, consistent, and of course, these 3 things we'll talk about never happening. As a youth in the 60s, his days were spent picking cotton for his family's survival and gathering lumber, which he credits to giving him his NBA-ready body by his senior year in high school, and his athleticism he'd later become known for that allowed him to attack the rim like Russell Westbrook with the body makeup of Lebron James. His season stats in the NBA may not impress you, but when you look at the amount of minutes he did it in, I'm sure it will. Like the 11.3 points a game average as a rookie in just 14 minutes a game. As a second-year player averaging 20 minutes a game, he averaged near 14 points a game. What he was known for is his playoff performances that doubled when he was given substantial minutes that showed he could have been a star in the league. If talent only meant success was given to you, Bates would be one of the best players ever, because naturally he was that well put together for the game of basketball. But he wasn't, and here's why. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any stories. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's talk about it, man. Let's get it. Billy Ray Bates was a 6'4" shooting guard from Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and the 8th of 9 children. He first experienced alcohol at just 10 years old, 3 years after his father died from the effects of drinking. He averaged 28 rebounds as a senior and earned a scholarship to Kentucky State, which shocked many because his reading skills was said to be of elementary level. In his final 2 seasons of college, he averaged 20-plus points and was taken in the 3rd round, 47th overall of the 1978 NBA draft by the Houston Rockets. Stunt number 1, One Life to Live. AKA too much partying, drinking, and women. By the time Bates was ready to enter the draft, teams had already heard about his elite athleticism, scoring skills, machine-like work ethic, and also that he could be a headache you may not want around your team. There was a saying going around in college that Billy never missed a house party or chance to drink. It was said that while he was frequently loaded, he never looked that way and may have even performed better with a shot or 2 in his system. Teams also felt his play was a bit selfish as he rarely followed plays, instead waving them off for a chance to go one-on-one. But Houston wasn't fazed. His talent was too unique. Unfortunately, before he ever got to suit up for a game with the Rockets, he was cut from the team because his agent at the time insisted his client receive a guaranteed contract, which for a 3rd-round pick was unheard of at the time. He'd settle for the 2nd division of the CBA for the 78 season, where he led the league in scoring, won the slam dunk competition, and the Rookie of the Year. During his second season in the CBA, he finally got his NBA chance, being called up in February 1980 by the Portland Trail Blazers for their final 16 games. He averaged 11 points over that span in 14 minutes because the coach simply couldn't trust him to run plays correctly. In just his second game, he dropped 26 points, and a month later, he was named the Player of the Week in the NBA. In the playoffs, though, his game went to another level, averaging 25 points a game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds in his first year in nearly 40 minutes a game. He continued to drink as an NBA player and party the night before games, which hurt his consistency. He'd have 6 points one game and the very next explode for 40. Rumor of him missing the first half of a game because he overslept from partying the night prior and had to climb over a sea of women to find his basketball uniform was later denied by Bates. True or not, he was cut after just his second and most successful season with the Blazers, where he jumped from 13.8 points a game in 20 minutes to 28 points and 4 assists in the playoffs, the highest for a non-starter in Blazer history, playing 38 minutes a game. Imagine a serious, sober, AC Green-esque Billy Bates. Stunt number 2, opportunity. What happens when you're as erratic and inconsistent as Billy Bates? You lose out on precious playing time, and in Bates' case, lose your job altogether. Jack Ramsey was the coach of the Blazers at the time and wasn't fond of Bates because he wasn't the team player Ramsey was used to when he won a championship in '77. Therefore, he didn't play Billy very much during the course of the season. He just couldn't control him. He never followed the plays, but he could put the ball in the hoop and was usually unleashed during the playoffs. He was cut after a great individual run, scoring 11 points a game in 16 minutes per. He was picked up by the Bullets and cut after just 15 games, then 4 with the Lakers, making them the second team he was cut from within the year. He left America completely and went to the Philippines, where he became an absolute star among the people and given the name Black Superman. But his lifestyle cost him many opportunities as he just couldn't quit. Stunt number 3, addiction. As if losing out on a dream he had since a cotton-picking kid wasn't enough, Billy Ray Bates became a sex-crazed alcoholic whose teammates remember him downing multiple beers before games and challenging Will Chamberlain for his alleged bedroom record. He played in the PBA from 1983 to '88 and was a 4-time PBA champion and 4-time PBA Best Import. His stardom in the Philippines resembles what Stephon Marbury did in his time in China. Everyone loved him, and he was successful individually and winning championships. In 1998, Bates robbed a New Jersey Texaco station at knife point, and when the attendant challenged him, he sliced him on the air and took off. He was arrested after passing out on a neighbor's lawn, down on his luck, and sentenced to 7 years in prison in 2000. He did a little over 4 years, came home on parole, and tried to walk the straight and narrow path, but 18 months later, cocaine was found in his system and he was ordered back to prison for another 3 years. After his release, Bates turned his life around through Alcoholics Anonymous classes and focusing on his newfound shipping warehouse job. In 2011, he was recognized as the best import in the history of the Philippines and enshrined in the Philippine Basketball Hall of Fame. He was later hired as a skills coach in the ABL in the Philippines, but months later fired for, quote, repeated misconduct and acts detrimental to the team and league. All in all, Billy Ray Bates could have been one of the best players of his generation if he could just get out of his own way. It sucks because, like that apple falling from the already damaged tree, Billy never really had a clean start to seeing his full potential. When he was a man and old enough to guide his own life, Like his father, the damage was already done and looks to never have healed. On the floor, he was a sight to see, and I hope he cleans up one day and makes the best out of his life. Salute to Billy Ray Bates, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.